We've all been there, right? We've all been in the situation where there's been a child throwing a temper tantrum, whether it is your child or the child of a relative, whether it is the child of a person you see in a shopping mall or a grocery store. We always have, we've been there, is what I'm trying to get to. We've always seen examples of children throwing absolute insane tantrums. And we always kind of roll our eyes, even when it's our own kid, and go, ugh, why why can't the parents do better? Even if it's about yourself. I say that about myself when my kid throws a temper tantrum. It's only when you understand the psychology behind a temper tantrum, you kind of learn to approach it, be a little bit different, as well as be a little bit more apathetic. However, this is a story where I feel the response is far greater than what needs to be, because a 6-year-old girl was arrested for throwing a temper tantrum. And I do like the byline here that says, another example of the school to prison pipeline, which mislabels kids as criminals. And I think that is a big problem in our country. I think the private institutions, the private jails that we have that kind of have been proven in many cases to give kickbacks to judges in order to get more people to go to juvie or to jail. It goes to show you one of the biggest problems with our society. However, the picture of this little girl here, you can see that she's scared, even in this photo, and she's not just scared of her mother's eyebrows, but she is legitimately just like, that is one of those, she is worried, and I get it. Now, this happened in Florida. This is a Florida girl. A 6-year-old Florida girl was arrested in Orlando charter school last week after she threw a temper tantrum and kicked a staff member. Now, first and foremost, never kick. Children, it's more of an involuntary thing than a deliberate thing. They don't quite get it. And again, I've been reading up a lot more about this recently, so I think my heart just goes out to this mother and this child, because I have 2 daughters, and like one of them's almost 2 and gets into that kind of, that she starts having those temper tantrums. But 6 years old is far different from 22 months. Anyway, the student, a first grader named Kaia Rolle, was handcuffed, placed in the back of a police cruiser, and taken to the Juvenile Assessment Center, where she was fingerprinted and had her mugshot taken. Now, this is what I don't like. Now, you could sit there and argue, well, she committed assault. She's 6. She has no idea what she's doing. Does this feel like a complete massive overreach and over-exaggeration of a punishment? Yeah, I do. I believe that. I 100% believe that. Because, for one, she's going to then carry that memory with her for the rest of her life, being alone, handcuffed, scared at the back of a cop car, taken to a juvenile assessment center where she was fingerprinted and then had her mugshot taken. Now, Marilyn Kirkland, the girl's grandmother, told WKMG that Kaia has sleep apnea, and that she informed the officer, Dennis Turner, that the family was working to address it. And the cop just says, well, I have sleep apnea and I don't behave like that, according to this allegedly responded. But who would respond like that? I mean, it kind of sounds like a snarky cop thing to say, right? It does. It kind of comes across like the snarky cop way of saying things. Well, I don't have sleep apnea. I mean, I have sleep apnea. I don't have like that. Like, dude, you're also clearly like in your, your adult years, whether you're, I don't know how old this guy is, middle age or younger or older, perhaps. Like, you're not 6. And I don't know how sleep apnea affects a kid. I'm pretty sure people in the comments are going to definitely tell me. However, I do feel like this particular cop might have a history of doing this a little bit, because according to this, that same cop arrested an 8-year-old the same day. Although he had reason, the reason has not been disclosed. Both apprehensions violated department policy, which stipulates that no minor under the age of 12 should be arrested without approval from a supervisor. Now, this is a cop that's arresting children, taking him to juvie and getting them the mugshot, getting their fingerprints in the system. I mean, there's always those arguments of like the government trying to get people of color. I almost kind of want to say that's the case here. Get them in the system is what I mean. Get them in there. Now, anyway, Turner's actions, while ridiculous, indicate the prevalence of school-to-prison pipeline, a troubling trend nationwide where zero-tolerance disciplinary procedures are quick to mislabel kids as criminals. Part of the problem involves overly harsh school suspension and expulsion policies. According to the Justice Policy Institute, in recent years, administrators have been increasingly encouraged or required to remove students from school over minor offenses. Just last July, an 8th grader attending school in Maryland was banned for 3 weeks, the remainder of the school year, after he shared a photo of himself on Snapchat in which his friend was holding a disabled airsoft gun. Now, the two here Now, this last line I think is worth noting here. The problem isn't isolated. So it's not just Florida. It's not young black girls or young black boys and girls. You know, it's all over. It's every second and a half a public school student in the U.S. is suspended. That's just wild, man. That's so damn wild, right? I mean, look, kids do stupid things. We were all children at some point in time. We've all done dumb things. I don't think there's any reason to discredit that or to fight back against that, right? Or to debate that point. But if every second and a half a kid is suspended in the U.S., which seems, I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot. There's a lot of kids out there, though. We are creating a system where they're automatically treated as always being the bad guy. And that's not to say that there aren't bad kids out there, that there aren't bad seeds out there. But you do not, and this is what I've been reading, you do not get the type of results you want by trying to administer maximum punishment. Because all it does is set the bar for what will happen when they do something. And they don't learn. It's really replacement therapy, right? You want to replace one thing with another. Don't kick a person, punch this pillow. You know, you give them a water bottle. They crinkle the water bottle. They have a rage and frustration. Give them something that's tangible that they can play with that will then take away that particular rage. I don't know if this little girl, if Kaia here, I have no idea if she's got sleep apnea and she that's what, you know, maybe they tried waking her up and she kicked him. We don't know the whole story. But what I see when I look at this girl, what I see when I look in those eyes is a girl who's afraid. She's afraid. And that's tragic. That's terrible. That's wrong. But that, unfortunately, is just the world we find ourselves living in right now. And that is, well, I mean, that's crappy. I don't care who you are right now. I don't care who you are. That is crappy as hell. But I do want to hear your thoughts and your opinions. I really do. I want to know what you guys have to say about this. Do you think there's any alternative to arresting a child and getting them in juvie? Let me know down in the comments below. Please leave a like if you want, dislike if you like. Let me know why in the comment section. And if you like the channel, please consider subscribing or becoming a channel member here on the link is in the video description. YouTube right now is yellow monetizing, demonetizing everything. They keep saying they're going to fix it. They're trying to change it up. But YouTube it travels about the same pace of an iceberg. So if you want to help out, that's how you do it. And I will talk to you guys later. Have yourself a fantastic day and peace out.